they're looking at now is taking the profits from those immobilized Russian central bank assets that are currently being earned by Euroclear in Belgium, and using those profits for Ukraine to fund through this EU fund to provide military assistance. And the thinking there is that's not seizing the principal, so that is a lower legal hurdle to surmount. The Euroclear doesn't have a legal obligation to pay any interest on those assets to the Russian central bank, and so that's what's moving forward at the moment.
So I think tariffs also seem to be splitting opinion, right? So some say they work, others say they don't. So would it actually make a difference if there were tariffs on Russian grains?
I think this has grown out of frustration within Europe that they've seen an influx in Ukrainian grain, particularly in countries like Poland, which has created a political problem. And so there's this disconnect. Why are we still importing Russian grain, when we're, flooded with Ukrainian grain? Why not stop or limit through tariffs the amount of Russian grain into the EU?
We're also hearing that the U.S. is actually asking Kyiv, Ukraine, to stop, with drones hurting some of their oil facilities. So, on the other hand, it could be effective in trying to cripple the economy. What's the right way to think about this?
Well, I think in Washington, obviously, gas prices are very sensitive in the run-up to an election, and you've seen the price of oil creep up over the past month or two. I think from Ukraine's perspective, they're frustrated that, the Kremlin's oil revenues are still quite high, and the West hasn't done enough, and so they're going to take matters into their own hands. And I think it's a delicate balance of how far they go with this and how much damage they can actually inflict. So far, they've bombed 9 refineries in Russia, and the problem is once they damage some of those facilities, because of sanctions, they're having difficulty replacing some of those parts. So it does slow down their ability to refine products, and that does have an impact on oil prices, because I think many people think Russia's going to be exporting more crude oil as a result.